Australia will extinguish trade tariffs for poor countries in what the Prime Minister is describing as a challenge to other nations to lower their trade barriers. Julia Gillard made the announcement in a speech tonight to a Commonwealth Heads of Government Business Forum in Perth. Earlier today, she issued a stern warning to European leaders to get their house in order. Political correspondent Tom Eagleton has more.
Making the most of her time in Perth, Chogham's drawing the spotlight away from domestic affairs and onto global economics.
There's something there to have a look at.
And the Prime Minister's been brushing up on international finance. Today she spoke to a Chogham Business Forum about her concerns for Europe.
All of us as Commonwealth member nations stand to suffer if the correct response is not forthcoming.
Next week, European leaders will gather for a crucial G20 meeting to determine how to deal with the mounting Eurozone financial crisis. Julia Gillard's written to the meeting's host, French President Nicolas Sarkozy.
So the focus needs to be on European leaders coming together, ending the days of muddling through and coming out with a credible plan for action.
Well, I think it's starting to get a little bit embarrassing.
The opposition says the government's got no right to lecture European leaders.
They haven't got the credibility to put a point of view internationally, and they've got every reason to try and look after their own backyard.
Tony Abbott's trying to keep attention on domestic matters, joining racehorse trainer Gai Waterhouse for a pre-Melbourne Cup run-through.
I think she's a real two-miler, right down to her knickers.
As a new poll showed support for the carbon tax sliding lower.
It's what happens on the track, as it were, not what the tipsters tell you, that counts. And out in the cities and suburbs and towns of our country, this is just a toxic tax.
Second point.
Back in Perth, though, there was no mention of that at the Chogham Business Forum. Attention centred on the economist who predicted the 2008 global financial crisis.
There is a significant probability there is going to be another recession in most advanced economies.
Nouriel Rabini echoed the Prime Minister's warning to European leaders about the consequences if they fail to bring order to their financial system.
A recession is going to be severe in advanced economies, and then the collateral damage, even into emerging markets, could be significant.
Our good friend from Baileys, again. Last saw you in St Kitts, I think.
Kevin Rudd told the meeting Australia was in good shape to deal with another global recession.
In the midst of continuing global volatility, that the Australian economy continues to demonstrate resilience.
The Reserve Bank underlined that assessment today, with the Deputy Governor suggesting there was plenty of room for it to stimulate the economy.
The downward revisions to the recent estimates for inflation and the softer global outlook have made the outlook for inflation less concerning than it was, and it provides scope for monetary policy to be supportive of economic activity if needed.
And it could be needed if those dire predictions about Europe come to pass. Australia's export-led economy would be particularly vulnerable if further uncertainty shook the foundations of global trade. Tonight's announcement that the government will lower tariffs to Australia's poorest trading partners is also a call to rich countries for global economic unity. Tom Eagleton, Lateline.